All right, what's up? It's Ruben here from TGE. All right. Yeah, I got a message here saying let's see where do I put this. I have about 20 to 25K account. I want to trade options and I have some wins, but want more consistency and need to learn how to read charts. Okay, so right off the bat, um, don't do chart trading, okay? Chart trading is the worst. And this is going to piss people off, but technical analysis, it does not work, okay? When you say technical analysis works, that means price is predictable, and it's not predictable. When you buy a house, you don't know what the future price is of it. You can't look at past historical data to be like, this is going to be the future price. You're just buying at the discount price right now and aiming for the future, right? Whatever that may be. Based on whatever other forward looking data you're looking at. You're like, based on the comps, based on this in the future, this is what I believe the price is going to be of the house. Same thing with assets like options or stocks or whatever, like securities. It's the same thing. Like, we don't know what that is. We just try to figure out the fundamentals, the EPS, is there growth, the revenue, the liabilities, the debt, right? And then we look at the option premiums to tell us like what is the potential of this stock in the future, right? That's more forward looking than looking backwards. We can't look at things backwards. All right, that's number one. Okay, so problem with consistency, they want to learn how to recharge. Okay, so I said here, if you have 20 to 25K account sitting around and you want to trade options, let me give you some advice. Stop trading. So yeah, don't trade, okay? Because what this sounds like to me is like they don't know anything yet. And so the mistake I made in my early days of trading was that I started putting capital on the line. I put a six-figure account, $100,000, and I just started putting $10,000, $9,000, thinking like no risk, no Rari, right? But like that actually cost me a lot of money. Okay, I lost a car note there. So like you cannot do that. All right. So I said before you start putting a dollar at risk, you need to understand the options, probability, and pricing. And I have a book here that I listed here. One is called Option Volatility and Pricing: Advanced Trading Strategies and Techniques by Sheldon Natenberg. And I got the Audible for it. Let me see if I can find it so you guys can see it. This is a great book. Here it is. Okay, let me show you. Doesn't show any personal information, does it? Let me put this out here. Where is it? Okay, here it is, right? This is the book. You could I actually recommend getting the hard copy because the hard copy allows you to look at charts. They have this one comes with a PDF, but I rather do the hard copy because then I gotta like look at this and then look at the charts and what happened here? How do I bring it back here? Hold on. Let me see what I got. Here we go. Okay, so option volatility and pricing is good. And then I said I'm gonna butcher this up. I think it's Bayesian Statistics the Fun Way, which I actually have the hard copy. These books are pricey, okay? They're gonna cost you about $70 each, but they're going to save you thousands of dollars worth of mistakes. Like the first one teaches you about like the fundamentals of what the Greeks are. They teach you about different trading strategies because it's not just buying long and calls. There's strangles and there's straddles and there's credit spreads and all this other stuff that you could do. You can go long in a position and then you can convert it to a different strategy so you can mitigate the loss or even generate income out of it. So like they'll go over that and like other risk measurements that we use here in TGE Max, like gamma exposure and what is delta exposure and heat maps to like figure out what strikes are optimal for finding out like what strikes, what expirations should we get that will maximize the profit, right? So things like that. And then statistics, the fun way. This one really starts to make you think more probability, whatever, more probabilistic, right? It's like more like if this, then that. Based on this information, then this may happen. Otherwise, so you want to be more mechanical, right? Okay. So I say you have to understand something. Charts don't give you an edge in the market, which they do not. I used to believe that, but it does not. Otherwise, a lot of traders would be successful, and they're not. Price Prices are random, and believing in technical analysis means you think that price is predictable, and it's not predictable. And the reason I say that is because I hear it all the time. I hear it with traders, and I had to break that mentality away from my TG Max members. Um, that it's like it's not about, because when we used to have order blocks and this and that and fair value gaps, I've heard it all. Okay, and when they hit those price levels, they're like, oh, it has to get rejected. Oh, it has to be support. It does not have to. Okay. And by saying that, it's like, this is where price wants to be selling off at. And we don't know. Like anything can happen. News can come out, which again, you can only find out in option flow data because somebody always knows. The gamma exposures, like all the Greeks, they tell you everything you need to know. So it's about being more mechanical and systematic, and by thinking with math in the market. Okay, so trading options is about probability and finding undervalued contracts. That's right. So we do a lot of like EPS fundamental research, and we're like, okay, based on the forward looking guidance and the current price that's at, the P ratios doesn't seems to be undervalued or overvalued. It happens, right? So we look at things like that. To do so, you need to understand the Greeks and implied volatility, which is very true. The market is very volatility heavy, and thinking in probabilities will separate you from 90% of the traders. It's true. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and most of them are like technical analysis traders, but most of them lose. That's why they can't generate any like meaningful income out of trading, because it just doesn't work. Okay, one of my TG Max members, again, they hit like they turned $1,700 into 25K in 6 months. That's a meaningful amount of income. That is a bonus, right? And then if he keeps that up, then he can turn that into 50, 100K, right? But we're using different tactics. We're using fundamentals combined with the Greeks and implied volatility. We combine those together, and we're like, this is the potential outcome of this trade. Okay. Anyways, he says, okay, I set a game plan. I say, read the books, right? I think you should read the books. They're expensive, but they'll save you thousands of dollars. Then I said, join TG free, because I have all that stuff there. You could scour through the internet, of course, like YouTube, like the way you came across this video, but I already have a step-by-step guide, and I show you how to create a thesis that is solid, and that it teaches you how to get in, how to get out of trades, how to put into practice. I highly recommend you join that. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. Paper trade. Okay, so this is really important, because anytime you're going to learn something new, right? Because this individual is learning new, they want to learn. Paper trade 1 to 2 months. And I make all TG Max members do this. Anybody that's looking for coaching, because one, I'm teaching something different, probably different than what most traders are used to, and so they're not used to thinking in the way I think, and so I need them to when you're gonna take somebody else's strategy, that you have to like practice first, right? You like I can't like if I love soccer, right? But if I was starting from scratch, I can't go to like a league and think that I'm gonna do like just kill it right off the bat. Like I had to practice. I had to go out in the field. I have to run. I have to learn to turn. I have to learn to kick. I have to learn the formation. I need to learn whatever that is, right? Uh, and then with enough practice, and enough scrimmages, which is phase two, then maybe I can go to the bigger leagues. So with paper trading, it's the same thing. Like you have to practice first before you start utilizing your real cash. Okay, do not, if you have a $20,000-$25,000 account, do not blow it out right away, because most traders, they're like, I'm gonna miss out on the big gains that the market is providing right now. And I always tell all my TG Max members, I say the market will always be manipulated, so there will always be a trade available every day. Okay, so you don't need to trade right now. You could wait half a year from now. You could wait a year from now. It will always be here. And the main objective with paper trading is to make sure that you get the strategy to a T, okay? And there's one inside TG free. All right. So step 4, of course, is again, like I said, move to a small account. I make, again, same process. I'm giving you the same process that I give all my TG Max members, because once you understand how to paper trade it and you're building confidence in one executing the trade as intended, now it's time to practice this into a small account. And this is about $2,000 to $3,000 account size. And then you could start just buying one contract, 2-3 months out in expiration, okay? A year. So you want to go further out because we're looking at weekly moves or quarterly moves, right? And you want to practice doing that with one contract, okay? And this creates discipline, consistency, and then it makes you also take every trade seriously, like it matters, because that's really important. We're putting money on the line. We want to make sure that we care about the trade that we're getting in. And it's okay if you get invalidated. That's okay. That's part of the process. But you want to make sure that that you follow the exit, the stop, and then the entry parameters to a T with a small account. What you did on phase 1, which is paper trade, do it on the small account. Okay, and I say trade small for 4 to 6 months. And again, the goal is not to make big money into, is not to turn like small money into big money. The goal is to be profitable and consistent every month. And sometimes the main goal is, of course, to be profitable. We want to generate income every month, even if it's 1%, 2%, doesn't matter. That's the main objective. Okay. And what we want to do here is focus on consistency. So again, following the entries, the stops, the profit taking zones, and just everything else. And this is how I built all my TG Max members. We're here to understand the math behind the markets and executing on discipline. That's right. If you skip the process, you'll likely end up like 90% of the traders who fell, and you don't want to be that, right? So that's it. This is how I would start. If you want to learn to trade options and you want to have consistency, over the long run, so this is how I would approach it, right? Read the books, join the community, paper trade to practice the strategy, because I already gave it to you there. Once you do that for a month to two, go to a small account, and then when you could be profitable and consistent for 4 to 6 months, then you can move on to your 25K account. Okay, this is the same process I give all my TG Max members, but if you're interested in working with me directly, I'll put a link below as well too for you for that. Blah blah blah. All right.